Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name's Amy. I am an ordained minister, and we are in Bible study. We are in the Niv, and we are in the book of First Chronicles, and we are in chapter 7. We are in, this heading is called Issachar. The sons of Issachar: Tola, T-O-L-A, Puah, P-U-A-H, Jashub, J-A-S-H-U-B, and Shimron, S-H-I-M-R-O-N, 4 in all. The sons of Tola: Uzziah, Uzi, U-Z-Z-I. It's not Uzziah because there's no A-H on there. Raphiah, R-E-P-H-A-I-A-H, Jeriel, J-E-R-I-E-L, Jamiah, J-A-M-A-I, Ibsam, I-B-S-A-M, and Samuel, heads of their families. During the reign of David, the descendants of Tola listed fighting men in their genealogy numbered 22,600. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people right there. The sons of Uzziah, U-Z-Z-I. Israiah. It's not Isra, because it would be I-Z-R-A-H-I-A-H. So it's got a ayah. The sons of Israiah: Michael, Obadiah, Joel, and Isha, I-S-S-H-I-H. All 5 of them were chiefs. According to their family genealogy, they had 36,000 men ready for battle, for they had many wives and children. The relatives who were fighting, belonging to the clans of Issachar, as listed in their genealogy, was 87,000 in all. So that's, it's not too bad. It's pretty big for one clan like that. So Benjamin. 3 sons of Benjamin: Bela, B-E-L-A, Becher, B-E-K-E-R, and Jedidiel, J-E-D-I-A-E-L, like Jedi, A-E-L. Okay, the sons of Bela: Ezebon, E-Z-B-O-N, Uzziah, U-Z-Z-I, Uzziel, U-Z-Z-I-E-L, Jerimoth, J-E-R-I-M-O-T-H, and Eri, I-R-I. Heads of families, 5 in all. Their genealogical record listed 22,034 fighting men. The sons of Becher: Zemariah, Z-E-M-I-R-A, Joash. It's not Eliezer because there's not an name. There's not an A in there. It's like Eliezer, E-L-I-E-Z-E-R. Elonai, E-L-I-O-E-N-A-I, Omri, O-M-R-I, Jeremoth, J-E-R-E-M-O-T-H, Abijah, A-B-I-J-A-H, Anathoth, A-N-A-T-H-O-T-H, and Becher. Their genealogical records listed the heads of families and 22,200 fighting men. The sons of Jedidiel: Bilhan, B-I-L-H-A-N. The sons of Bilhan: Jeush, J-E-U-S-H, Benjamin, Ehud, E-H-U-D, it's like Canaanah, because it's like Canaan, K-E-N-A-A-N-A-H, Zethan, Z-E-T-H-A-N, Tarshish, which is also location, T-A-R-S-H-I-S-H. The Tarshish diamond is actually a turquoise. There was just like a lot of them there, and which would indicate that they also had a lot of copper there. And Ahayashara, H-A-I-S-H-A-A-H-R. All these sons of Jedidiel were heads of families. There were 17,200 fighting men ready to go out to war. The Shuppites, Shuppites, and the Huppites, Huppits, were the descendants of and the Hushites, Husites, the descendants of Aher, Aher. Okay. Naphtali. The sons of Naphtali: Jahaziel, Jahziel, Guni, Guni, Jazer, Jezer, and Shilem, Shilem, but it's got a footnote of A after. Some Hebrew and Septuagint, that's Greek, manuscripts, also Genesis 46:24, Numbers 26:49, most Hebrew manuscripts, Shalom, if you will, Shallum, or Shalom, I should say, not Shalom, Shalom, the descendants of Bilhah, Bilhaa, Manasseh, the descendants of Manasseh. That's not, they don't give you anything else about the Naphtali, just that little bit right there. Just verse 13. The descendants of Manasseh: Azriel, Asriel, was his descendant through his Armenian, Aramean, as in like from the country of Aram, Aram, his Armenian concubine. She gave birth to Makir, Makir, the father of Gilead, Gilead. Makir took a wife from among the Huppites and the Shuppites. His sister's name was Maacah, Maachah. Another descendant was named Zelophehad, Zelophehad, who only had daughters. Makir's wife, Maacah, gave birth to a son and named him Peresh, Presh. His brother's name was Sheresh, Sheresh. Okay, so it's good to know that trend, which still exists in my family, which is just like a similar name, but we'll just change some of the letters around so it sounds something similar. Like, because there's that trend still within my family. It still exists. Who knew that we were actually we're probably naming things after each other in like Jewish custom, and we just don't know because it's so baked in that we don't think about it. And his sons were Ulam. These are Sheresh's sons. Ulam and Rakim. Ulam, Ulam, and Rakim, Rakem. So you're like, wait, yeah, that's where that name comes from. In case you didn't know that, it comes from the Bible. You should probably pay attention, right? The sons of Ulam, Ulam, Bedan, Bedan. These were the sons of Gilead, son of Makir, the son of Manasseh. So Gilead and Manasseh actually come from the same tribe, the same half tribe of Joseph. Because remember, Joseph's children fight with each other. They actually went into a civil war. Even though the two of them tend to be the ones who are kings of Israel when they're not just under David's household after a King Saul. When they split up again, or when they actually split up, because they weren't really split during David. His sister, the sons of Manasseh, so we're verse 18. His sister Hamaloketh, Hammoleketh, I love that, gave birth to Ishahad, Ishod. Abiezer, Abieze, and Mahalah, Mahlah. Now you're like, why do you like? Well, because I have my maiden last name, and my maiden last name looks like a portion of that. Like it's missing an L, and then there should be an N there, and then that's why my last name. So that's just, wow, look at that. The sons of Shemida, Shemida, were Ahian, Ahian, Shechem, Shechem, Lehi, Likhi, and Aniam, Aniam. All right. I mean, and I find that right there fascinating, just because, you know, if you were to take my last name, which we pronounce like it's got the missing letters and the umlauts over the name, like the area where the ancestry comes from. We say it because it's one of those, like, from here to there, and the name got changed by who wrote it down types of situations. But we say it like it's got all the missing letters and punctuation that it's supposed to have in its native language. So we can trace it back, and what it traces back to is the word Miller. So it's like, oh, well, that's what they did then, isn't it, in that area? So look at that. And actually, as it turns out, from that same line, when they start, actually over there, when they start coming from, you know, mother country over to the New World, most often what they were was preachers or priests, or, you know, something of that nature. So Miller, in the sense of both literally separating the wheat from the chaff, and, you know, let's spread the seed of the good word. So back to that, as we are. Ephraim, in verse 20. The descendants of Ephraim, Shuthaliah, Shuthlah, Bered, his son, Bered, Tahath, Tahath, his son, Eliadaha, Eleadah, his son, Ta'ath, his son, Zabad, Zabad, his son, and Shuthathalah, Shuthlah, his son. Ezer, Ezer, and Elad, Elead, were killed by the native-born men of Gath when they went down to seize their livestock. Their father, Ephraim, mourned for them many days, and his relatives came to comfort him. Then he lay with his wife again, and she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. He named him Beriah, 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 but it's got a footnote next to it. So what are we saying here? Beriah sounds like it sounds like Hebrew for misfortune. Oh, so it was like a grieving, healing, you know, lay with his wife again situation, like an affirmation of life, and then they made life. So that's a gift. I don't know why he thinks it's misfortune, because there had been misfortune in his family. Yeah, but you were healing it, so you should see. I don't understand. His daughter was Shererah, Sheerah, almost like Shira. I'm going to say it like that way. Shira. That's how they pronounce it. Like as if you're like really enthusiastic and you're holding on to the middle vowel. Shira, who built a lower and upper Beth Horon, Horon, as well as Uzzen, Uzzen, Shira, Rephriah, Rephah, was his son, and Sheep, Resheph, his son, and then we got a footnote of C. Some Septuagint, that's Greek, manuscripts, Hebrew does not have his son. Okay? does not specifically say that that's his son, just a comma. Okay. Teliah, his son. Tahan, his son. Ladan, his son. Tahan, Tila, T-E-L-A-H. Tahan, T-A-H-A-N. And Ladan, L-A-D-A-N. Amihud, M-E-A-A-M-I-I-H-U-D, his son. Elishama, E-L-I-S-H-A, like Elisha. Amma, his son. Nun, his son. And Joshua, his son. Their lands and settlements included Bethel and its surrounding villages, Naaran, and N-A-A-R-A-N, to the east, Gezer, G-E-Z-E-R, and its villages to the west, and Shechem and its villages all the way to Ayah, A-Y-Y-A-H, and its villages. Along the borders of Manasseh were Beth-Shan, Beth, V-E-T-H, space, S-H-A-N, Tanakh, T-A-A-N-A-C-H, Megiddo, M-E-G-I-D-D-O, and Dor, D-O-R. Together with their villages, the descendants of Joseph of Israel lived in these towns. Asher. The sons of Asher. Imnah, I-M-N-A-H, Ishvia, I-S-H-V-A-H, Ishvi, I-S-H-V-I, and Berai, B-E-R-I-A-H, their sister Sarah, S-E-R-A-H. The sons of Berai, Heber, H-E-B-E-R, and Machili, M-A-L-K-I-E-L, who was the father of Birzaith, B-I-R-Z-I-A-T-H. Heber was the father of Japhelet, J-A-P-H-L-E-T, Shomer, S-H-O-M-E-R, and Hotham, H-O-T-H-A-M, and their sister Shua, S-H-U-A. The sons of Japhelet, Pesach, P-A-S-E-C-H, so I'm not kidding, it's just missing an E. Be the word whole world Pesach, like as in Passover. Bimhal, B-I-M-H-A-L, Ashvath, A-S-H-V-A-T-H. These were Japhelet's sons, the sons of Shomer. Ahai, A-H-I, Roga, R-O-H-G-A-H, who has a footnote of D. Okay. Or his brother Shomer, Rahagoah. Huba, H-U-B-B-A-H, and Aram, A-R-A-M. The sons of his brother Helem, H-L-E-M. Zophah, Z-O-P-H-A-H. Imnah, I-M-N-A. Shelish, S-H-E-L-E-S-H. And Amal, A-M-A-L. The sons of Zophah. Sua, S-H-U-A-H. Harnifir, H-A-R-N-E-P-H-E-R. Shaul, S-H-A-U-L. Beri, B-R-I. Imrah, I-M-R-A-H. Bezer, Had, Shama, S-H-A-M-A-A. Shilsha, S-H-I-L-S-H-A-H. Ithran, I-T-H-R-A-N. And then it's got a footnote of E. Possibly a variant of Jether, J-E-T-H. And Berera, B-E-R-R-A. The sons of Jether. Jepunah, J-E-P-H-U-N-N-E-H. Pispa, P-I-S-P-A-H. And Arara, A-R-A. The sons of Ula, U-L-L-A, Arara, A-R-A-H, Haniel, H-A-N-N-I-E-L, and Rizia, R-I-Z-I-A. All these were the descendants of Asher, heads of family, choice men, brave warriors, and outstanding leaders. The number of the men ready for battle, as listed in their genealogy, was 26,000. Thank you for helping me complete the calling of the names, because that's really what this is the equivalent of in the Celtic festivals, as if they were standing out in the field lighting a torch and calling all the people of clan this to come stand next to them, because that's really what this basically is. In the next video, we go over the genealogy of specifically the first king of Israel, Saul, the Benjaminite. If you'd like to join me for that, you're going to need to come back for the next video, friends. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name's Amy. I am an ordained minister, and we are in Bible study. We are in the Niv, and we are in 1 Chronicles and in chapter 8. We are going over the genealogy of Saul, the Benjaminite. Benjamin was the father of Bela, his firstborn. Ashbel, the second son, and Aharah, Aharah, the third. Noah, Nohah, the fourth, and Rapha, Rapha, the fifth. The sons of Bela were Adar, Addar, Gera, Gera, Abihud, Abihud, which has got a footnote of A, Gera, the father of Ehud. Okay. Abishu, Abishua, Naaman, Naaman, Ahoah, Ahoah, Gera, Gera, because I guess there's two of them with that name, Shafuanan, or Shafufuan, Sehphuphan, and Huram, Huram. These were the descendants of Ehud, who were the heads of family of those living in Geba, Geba, and were deported to Manahath, Manahhath, Naaman, Naaman, Ahijah, Ahijah, and Gera, who deported them, and who was the father of Uzzah, Uzza, and Ahihud, Ahihud. Sons were born to Shaharaim, Shaharaim, in Moab, after he had divorced his wives Hushim, Hushim, and Barah, Barra. By his wife Hodesh, Hodesh, he had Jobab, Jobab, Zibiah, Zibia, Mesha, Mesha, and Malakam, Malcam, Jeuz, Sakiah, Sakia, and Mirama, Mirmah. These were his sons, heads of family. By Hushim, he had Abatub, Abitub, and Elpaal, Paal. Only one P. The sons of Ipal, Eber, Misham, Misham, Shemed, Shemed, who built Ono, Ono, and Lod, Lod, with its surrounding villages, and Bariah, Briah, and Shema, who were the heads of families of those living in Ajalon, Aijalon, and who drove out the inhabitants of Gath, Gah. Ahio, Ahio, Shashak, Shashak, Jeremoth, Jeremoth, Zebediah, Arad, Eder, Michael, Ishpa, Ishpah, and Joah, Joa. They were sons of Berara. Zebediah, Mushullam, Mushullam, Hizki, Hizki, Heber, Ishmeriah, Ishmerai, Islah, Izlih, and Jobab were the sons of Elpaal. Jakim, Jakim, Zikri, Zicri, Zabadi, Zabdi, Ilnia, Elienai, Zilletai, Zillethai, Eliel, Eliel, Adahiah, Adaiah, Bariah, Shimrath, were sons of Shimei, Shimei, Ishpan, Eber, Ililil, Abaddon, Zikri, Hanan, Hanan, Hananiah, it's Hananiah, Elam, Anathothajah, Nathothijah, Iphidiah, Iphdeiah, and Penuel, Pnul, were the sons of Shashak. Shamashariah, Shamsherai, Shehariah, Shehariah, Athaliah, Ataliah, Ja'arishia, Jarashih, Elijah, Zikri, and were sons of Jeraham, Jerham. All these were heads of families, chiefs listed in their genealogy, and they lived in Jerusalem. Jeiel, Jeiel, which has a footnote. Some Septuagint, that's Greek, manuscripts, as well as First Chronicles 9:35, which I've gotten to. Hebrew does not have this person, Jeiel. The father, and then you got a footnote of C. The father maybe means civic leader or military leader rather than direct person, of Gibeon, lived in Gibeon. His wife's name was Maacah, Maacah, and his firstborn was Abaddon, Abdon, followed by Zur, Kish, Baal, Baal, Ner, Ner, it's got a footnote of D. The Hebrew manuscripts does not have Ner, so okay, I don't know where that came from. Nadab, Geder, Ahio, Zeker, that's Zeker, and Milkloth, Mikloth, who was the father of Shimea. They too lived near their relatives in Jerusalem. Ner was the father of Kish, Kish the father of Saul, and Saul the father of Jonathan, Melikishua, Malki-Shua, Aminadab, and Ishbaal, Esh-Baal, which means Lord, or Ish-Bashith, the sons of Jonathan, Merib-Baal, F, known as Meshibetheth. We've talked about this person before. Mephibosheth. He's the son of Jonathan that David keeps making sure he's taken care of, who couldn't walk. Who was the father of Micah, Mich. The sons of Micah, Pithon, Pithon, Melech, Melech, Tari, Tarea, and Ahaz, Ahaz. Ahaz was the father of Jehoadah, Jehoaddah, Jehoadah, Jehoaddah, was the father of Alemeth, Alemeth, Azamaveth, Azmaveth, Maveth means like death, so that's interesting. And Zimri was the father of Moza, Mosiah. Moza was the father of Binea, Binea. Raphah, Raphah, was his son. Eleasah, Eleasah, was his son. Azel, Azel, was his son. Azel had 6 sons, and these were their names: Azrikam, Azrikam, Bokeru, Bokeru, Ishmael, Ishmael, Shariah, Sheraih, Obadiah, and Hanan. All these were sons of Azel. The sons of Ishek, Eshek, Ulam, Ulam, the firstborn, Jeush, Jush, the second, and Eliphelet, Eliphelet, the third. The sons of Ulam were brave soldiers who could handle the bow. They had many sons and grandsons, 150 in all. All these were the descendants of Benjamin. So, in chapter 9, if you want to come back for us, we cover the list of the genealogies recorded in the book of the kings of Israel. Because that's what it says. So until the next video, friends. Hello, friends. So, Bible study, the Niv, Acts, chapter 15. We're going to go 36 through chapter 16, verse 15. It covers several different parables. This first one called A Disagreement Between Paul and Barnabas. Some time later, Paul said to Barnabas, "Let us go back and visit the brothers in all the towns where we preached the word of the Lord, and see how they were doing." Barnabas wanted to take John, also called Mark, with them, but Paul did not think it was wise to take him, because he had deserted them in Pamphylia and had not continued with them in the work. They had a sharp disagreement that they parted company. So they had an argument and decided they didn't want to hang out with each other anymore. We're no longer traveling buddies. Barnabas took Mark and sailed for Cyprus. But Paul chose Silas and left, commended by the brothers to the grace of the Lord. He went through Syria and Cilicia, strengthening the churches. Because remember, he was Sanhedrin, so he's used to public speaking. And of course, he knows the laws very well. So of course, he's going to be able to recite all the ways that Jesus is the prophet of the Lord, because it was literally his job to study the prophets and know all their words, because that's what the Sanhedrin do. They know the law. They're supposed to be like our Senate, presuming that anybody in our Senate or House of Congress actually knows the laws. They're writing the laws, so I hope they know the laws, but some of them I have questions. I'm not at this side or that side. I don't really like politicians. Chapter 16, this thing is called Timothy Joins Paul and Silas. He came to Derbe and then went to Lystra, where a disciple named Timothy lived, whose mother was a Jewess, so Jewish, and a believer, but whose father was Greek. Now, This is important in the Jewish culture. You are only Jewish if your mother is Jewish. If your mother is Jewish, you don't need to be converted. If your father is Jewish and your mother is something else, you still have to be converted. And I know that seems like, what? Because that's the opposite of the Christian world, right? In the Christian world, usually you're whatever form of religion your father is, because he's setting the tone of like the household, right? But in the Jewish culture, this is how this works. I'm very familiar with it because when I was married to a Jewish man. And when we were talking about having children, it was a cantor who married us. But that particular temple that he went to, his family, that we went to as a family kind of thing, when we were talking about having children, they made that very clear that, the bris would also be part of a conversion process. So it would be important. The brothers at Lystra and Iconium spoke well of him. Paul wanted to take him along on the journey, so he was circumcised. So he circumcised him because of the Jews who lived in that area, for they all knew his father was Greek. So they weren't going to listen to him because they were, enmeshed in a very, heavily Jewish area, and that's who they were speaking to. So catering to the people around them. As they traveled from town to town, they delivered the decisions reached by the apostles and the elders in Jerusalem for people to obey. So the churches were strengthened in faith and they grew daily in numbers. And that is that they don't all need to be circumcised. They just did this with Timothy. Paul did this as a grown man. That's how much faith Timothy had. So if you're a grown man, you should really be considering, do you have the faith of Timothy? Do you love the Lord enough for that? Paul's vision of a man in Macedonia. This is verse 6. Again, my technology is trying to be disobedient in the background. I have to watch because sometimes it wants to delete everything I took for voice notes. If it hears me, it'll activate. Paul and his companions traveled throughout the region of Phrygia and Galatia, 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 having been kept by the Holy Spirit from preaching the word in the province of Asia. They tried, they came to the border of Myasia. I've never heard of that before. Mysia. I'm going to figure out where that is. They tried to enter Bithynia, Bithyynia, but the Spirit of Jesus would not allow them to, so they were just not allowed to be in there. So they passed by Myasia and went down to Troas. Now you're like, what does that mean? What it likely means is every time they tried to head there, something else got in the way. So they were redirected to someplace else, because he'll do that. Every time you try to do something, if he doesn't want you to go someplace, he doesn't want, like if he's decided it's not safe, any of that, it's not part of your path, he will just keep redirecting you to someplace else that he wants you to be instead, because it doesn't matter what your will is. You need to get your will in alignment with his will. That's the only way you get anything done. So they passed by Myasia and went down to Troas. Troas. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. During the night, Paul had a vision of a man in Macedonia. Now that I do know I'm pronouncing right. Standing and begging him, "Come over to Macedonia and help us." After Paul had seen the vision, we got ready at once to leave for Macedonia, concluding that God had called us to preach the gospel to them. So this clearly isn't written by Paul, but is likely written by either Timothy or Silas, because that's who's with him. Because they're speaking of Paul in the third person, the third person, but we as if they're with Paul. Lydia's conversion in Philippia. This is what this one is called. From Troas, we put out to sea and sailed straight for Samothrace. Samothrace? Is that like... Thrace is a place in Greece, so I'm assuming it's somewhere nearby. And the next day on to Neapolis, so definitely in Greek. From there, we traveled to Philippia. Again, it's the Wheeze, right? A Roman colony and the leading city in the district of Macedonia. And we stayed there for several days. On the Sabbath, we went out of the city gate to the river, where we expected to find a place of prayer. We sat down and began speaking to the women who gathered there. All right. Different place, right? Different cultures, different customs. Very much so in the Jewish custom is a whole lot of stuff about when you bathe, when you wash with water. Water is very important. They live in the middle of the desert, so water is sparse. So any place where there is water, of course, is a holy worship, which is also very true of a lot of other ancient man. You can find that in a lot of Native American cultures. Water is life. I live out here in the desert. Water is definitely life. Like the difference between my backyard out there being well tended to or not is, how much I'm more in that automatic watering system. We sat down and began to speak to women who had gathered there. One of those listening was a woman named Lydia, a dealer in purple cloth from the city of Thyatira, Atira, who was a worshiper of God. However you say that name. The Lord opened her heart to respond to Paul's message. When she and the members of her household were baptized, she invited us to her home. If you consider me a believer in the Lord, she said, come and stay at my house. And she persuaded us. It's okay. It's a good day to remember that Creator redirects us. He redirects us where He wants, when He wants, because He wants. Because the reality is, at the beginning of every day, we have no idea what's going to happen, and we are always subject to divine timing. So let's remember that sometimes we can be friends with people, but we still need to go play divide and conquer. And that we can be productive in every redirect, even if it's not really what we had originally intended.
Good morning. Today is
So,
Pralines Day.
oh, look at that. Pralines Day, according to Alexa.
Just ask me into this day.
Okay, I paused for the rest of that because she gives me a whole big morning thing. Apparently, in 1997 on this day, the government denied Roswell too. Just so you know. It's Praline Day, and Roswell was denied. I don't buy that either. Like, right. They're experimenting on something out there. But I'm also of that thing, as much as I don't particularly like politicians. I do also believe there are some things that governments need to do to keep people safe that I don't need to know anything about, because I'm not that person. That's not a good plan. So, and most of us aren't. Remember that without trust, there is no love. Okay? God redirects us to where we need to be, when we need to be, and we should focus on what it is He's given us to do in our life and not what He's given everybody else to do. And maybe go enjoy some pralines today. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. We are in Bible study. My name is Amy, and I am indeed an ordained minister. We are in the NIV, and we will be through the rest of this year. We'll do other versions of the Bible in other years, and we will compare languages to each other but you need to give us time. We just started doing this last year. We've gone through all of the Old Testament. It is also available on video and in the playlist called Bible Study. It's all there. So we are right now in this video, though, in Book 1, Psalm 4, and we are doing verses 1 through 8. And as if you watch the Genesis videos, chapter 10, that are posted on the same day this was posted, you would find out repeatedly that this name, Selah, is actually a predecessor of King David. Now, there are biblical scholars that say this means something musical as well, but in reality, when you look at any of the footnotes of any of the Bibles, they're like, we don't really know what this means. My opinion, he's talking to his, he's trying to get help. He's calling on somebody he knows that he believes is up there with God. So he's trying to get help. Psalm 4. For the director of music with stringed instruments. A psalm of David. Remember, psalms are songs or poems. Verse 1. Answer me when I call you, O my righteous God. Give me relief in my distress. Be merciful to me and hear my prayer. How long, O men, will you turn my glory into shame? How long will you love delusion and seek false gods? Selah. Know that the Lord has set apart the godly for himself. The Lord will hear when I call to him. In your anger, do not sin. When you are on your beds, search your hearts and be silent. Selah. Offer right sacrifices and trust in the Lord. Many are asking, who can show us any good? Let the light of your face shine upon us, O Lord. You have filled my heart with greater joy than when their grain and new wine abound. I will lie down and sleep in peace. For you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety.